What if reading a poem could save someone's life? What if a short story could predict a natural disaster? Words have power, and when you string them together the right way, you can glimpse the future. Yes, you. If you're reading this, it means you're a reader, which means you've got a shot at being noticed by the Academy too. My name's Aidan Grey. That's Grey with an E. Got that? I'm a 12-year-old first-year student at Poe Academy, an exclusive school formed by a group of scholars known as the Prophets of Erudition. And I may be one of those prophets someday, if I make the cut. My best friend and I have been studying the works of Edgar Allan Poe, the prophet himself, since we could read. And now, we finally get to put our obsession with Gothic lit to good use. The semester started a few months ago, but I'm already knee-deep in Year 2 material, thanks to my cousin, Bertrand Orion. He's a Year 3 student who gives me his old textbooks. I am determined to make Advanced Prophets, AP courses, offered in Year 4. Early Raven gets the worm, right? Who cares if the Academy says we're not allowed to study ahead? I'm not waiting until I'm old and gray to practice saving the world. In fact, I often sneaked away during lunch to practice incantations. That's what we call the process of conjuring or manifesting a prophetic vision. To work properly, an incantation requires a mirror and 3 carefully selected words or phrases. In the ragged clearing behind the school auditorium, surrounded by prickly brush, adding a mirror would be risky, so I practiced without one. I held out my journal, analyzing lines I had copied from one of next year's textbooks. Then, I knelt down near a withered oak to trace a triangle into the dirt. I came to my feet and stared at the drawing, my fingertip brushing across a specific phrase in my journal. One of his eyes resembled that of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. The word vulture and the line pale blue eye stood out. There had to be a correlation. I was very close to uncovering the full incantation, and I could feel it in my bones. Or was it pale vulture eye? The prophet was tricky like that. I crouched and sloppily sketched the glyph for bird at the lower left of the triangle, struggling to recall the full image in my mind's eye. My etching of glyphs needed improvement, but it would do for a trial run. I traced an eye, one of the easiest glyphs to remember, into the dirt at the bottom right point, and then held my chin between my thumb and index finger as I analyzed the layout. My gaze bounced between the ground and my open journal as I compared my notes. Almost there. A pale vulture? Too abstract. Maybe I was reading between the lines, but I had a hunch that I was on to something. Surely the incessant heartbeat was significant too. It was the telltale heart, after all. But how did it all fit together? The prophet was a master of cryptography. Some say he invented it. Edgar Allan Poe worked extensively with hidden messages and scrambled codes, and his contributions helped shape modern ciphers. It was only my first year at the Academy. It would probably take more than a few highlighted words and a single lunch break to crack this one. "What are you up to?" Bertrand asked, peeking over my shoulder. I nearly jumped out of my skin. My journal clapped closed, and I kicked loose dirt over my etchings. "Nothing," I replied, veering toward my nosy, overbearing cousin. Although I was grateful for his textbooks, I didn't like the way he tried to keep tabs on me. Bertrand narrowed his eyes and peered down at the ground. "Always hiding something," he added with a shake of his head. "You shouldn't be practicing that, and definitely not here." I shoved my journal into my leather satchel and dusted off my hands. I wasn't. "Save it for the headmaster. I'm not the one who's going to expel you." "I won't get expelled," I replied, crossing my arms. "Not unless someone reports me."